Well, one of the things about going to a school like MI, Musicians Institute, is that you really got to be good at managing your time. And for music students, people who are going to music school and they're dedicating their lives to being a musician and building those skills, it's I wouldn't say it's easy to find the time, but it's what we do. But a lot of folks who would be watching these videos, that's not what they're doing. They're accountants, or they're homemakers, or they're bricklayers, or they're kids in high school just want to play and get better. So what would you say to people who say, I don't have time to practice. I can't find the time to practice. I'm not motivated to practice. What would you say to them to try to kind of get over that hump? And we're talking about people who actually do really, they have the desire, but maybe they don't have the drive, or maybe even the way to manage their time. Having done it yourself, what would you say to these people?
I found, because it's quite common, right? What you just said, actually. Well, that's the want and the actual do. But you gotta find, again, you gotta get rid of, find the fun first. I think there would be so many more kids on this planet playing instruments if some of those, like piano schools and stuff, would throw out their old school. I mean, I'm talking about my background in Europe because it's very classical and stuff, right?
Right.
And you can really make people hate music because they treat you like you're almost like starting with the same material that like Mozart started with when he was 3 years old, right? And if you find a way, again, to find that one thing that you really want to do, what is your actual goal, right? Is it because you want to like look better in front of a girl, or is it like because you want to, I don't know, impress your wife when she comes home that you can play this, or whatever? I don't know what the thing might be. Find that. You can't find the will to do exercises that make no sense to get. Nobody does an exercise in the gym without a reason. Nobody. I've never seen somebody, like the moment you have no reason, you stop, right? Like why would you go on a treadmill if it's not your goal to lose weight? Nobody does that, right? Or whatever. There has to be nobody. I mean, nobody. There's not a single guy who does weights that doesn't want to take off his shirt, right?
Yeah, there's no guy who's just sitting there going, "Hey, this is a lot of fun. Let's just do this because it's fun."
So there's the vain side of it, the vanity part, but then there's the other part where it's maybe you have a sore lower back and you need to do those exercises. Nobody likes any of those things. Except for a couple of freaks that are really into it, right? Because they've been doing it long enough and that's their thing. But it's the same sort of thing. So how do you get a person to get motivated to do those things? Well, what is the reason? And what would be the most fun part to do it? So it doesn't become a mundane freaking exercise, right? So isn't it maybe better if you go hiking instead of the treadmill, right? Because maybe an outdoor, like for instance, for me, gyms I hate, right? It's simply because I hate when the music they play or whatever the thing is. But I can do it easily with others. So I had to find different ways to do it, I could do yoga at home on a mat, but going to a yoga studio and having the kumbaya stuff, it just doesn't work for me, right? So I don't do it. But it doesn't mean I don't try to stay, healthy or whatever. There again, what is your motivation there, right? Is it because you have some, like some precondition or this or that? You gotta find the reason. What's the old Socrates thing? If you find the why, then if you find the why, you will automatically find the how. That's an old Stoic line from Socrates, I think. So, and that's really that applies to everything in life, right? You gotta find so why are you doing it? I ask this sometimes, because I have this what you just said. That doesn't just like apply to people who have a regular job. That applies to like professional artists and stuff sometimes, right?
Sure.
People that sell stadiums. And then you kind of, because, you know, they are just people like everybody else. They have bad days where they don't want to freaking do just another, you know, do scales on the piano so their voice stays in time. Like going, you know, I just sold out 30,000 tickets, so why should I do scales, right? Well, there's reasons for that, right? You know, show them a picture of Adele's throat before she had an operation and then had to take, well, you know what I mean? Find whatever it might be. Some might need a scare tactic, some might need this. It could be so many different things. But find your personal reason. And then find the most playful way. I think that is so important. Find the most playful way to get there. I mean, that's why you're successful with your school, because I know how you are. I mean, there's no way you ever going to do a boring lesson, right? Or find a, I mean, I've watched some of your videos and this and that. And it's like, you know, the way you present the songs is like, you know, I almost thought like, well, I should practice that Bee Gees song now. And it's like, I'm like, that's what a good teacher or educator does, right? You put it in, you put so much joy around it. You know, you sit there and do your thing, and there's butterflies coming out of it, so to speak, like, you know, and without that, yeah, if it becomes an exercise, it's the worst. I mean, please, do you know anybody who plays tennis, who shoots ball against the wall for 2 years? I don't. Do you know any kid who plays soccer who goes out there with a ball and dribbles for 3 years and have not played soccer? No, I don't know. Well, tell that little kid, no, go running every day, because you're not as fast as freaking Diego Maradona yet or whatever, because if you don't have your technique together, you're not going to be able to do that. No, they go play games, right? Then in that game, they realize, I'm not good at it, I'm not good at that. They fall on their nose, so they start going tripling for half an hour before they go do the game. But they need games constantly, right? And sometimes with music, I see that gets lost. It becomes a business to do exercises. It becomes a thing to do lessons. Like, and you know, how do you do a lesson? The least, we know it. We've done it for many, many years. You stretch out the subject, right? You make them practice certain. You just like you put more shit on the Christmas tree, so to speak. But it's you got to put more effort into it. So again, from the teacher side, that's a big job, but it's also from the student side, because maybe some students don't have a teacher, right? And if you sit at home and you don't want to practice, ask yourself why. Like literally, is it because you just have a bad day, or you just really hate that stuff? You know, or you don't know why you're doing it? Because if that's the case, then you can ask somebody of like, hey, why is this important? Does this gonna bring me somewhere, right? Because there's too many things you could be practicing, but is it something that's going to take you? There's 1,000 roads you can take, but are any of them taking you to the place that you actually want to go to? And figuring that out is extremely, extremely important. So you're like a GPS system, right, as a teacher in a way.
It makes total
sense. Or producer or whatever it might be.